Ever since Parliament scrapped the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, otherwise known as MNREGA, and brought in its new version with another acronym VBGRAMG, which stands for Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin, the opposition has been crying foul that it's an eyewash, that really a scheme that has been a lifeline for the poor, especially during tough times like COVID, now faces a threat of financing because instead of footing the entire bill, the centre will now fund only 60%. The Congress organised a day-long morcha or convention for MNREGA at their party office in the capital on Thursday, where workers also spoke, but some parts of it have become controversial. So much so that on social media, the entire effort is being mocked. The question I'm wondering about is this: why does it feel like the Congress has lost its MNREGA plot, and why isn't their MNREGA message really filtering down? First, let me just tell you a bit more about the new employment guarantee scheme that was passed in the winter session of Parliament. On the face of it, instead of the older MNREGA promising every poor household the right to 100 days of work in a year, GRAMG promises to give 125 days. However, economist and activist Jean Drèze, who has done extensive work in this area, says that this clause is an eyewash because at present, only 2% of rural households were claiming 100 days of work, and that's only 40 lakh homes in our vast country. Why he feels the government is finishing off this right that the poor had is because of various clauses. First, the funding, which means that a lot of responsibility falls on the states without them getting much credit for it. And then other sections like the one which says there'll be a 60-day freeze in hiring during agricultural seasons of sowing and harvesting. And that, he feels, will shrink workers' rights. The government says, of course, this is to ensure farm labour availability. Jean Drèze, who has worked closely with Nobel Prize-winning economist Amartya Sen, has written about his concern. He's done sit-in protests with rural workers outside district magistrates' offices in Muzaffarpur in Bihar, for example, and he's spoken to all kinds of media to make his concerns known. Some would argue that this is a whole lot more than what the Congress party has done. It's been more than a month since GRAMG became law, and we are yet to see any on-the-ground protest. If you're soft on the Congress, you may think I'm being unfair to them, but let me explain why I feel Thursday's protest was not helping their cause.
और अब ये इसका नए लॉ का नाम क्या है? मैं नाम ही नहीं जानता। इसका क्या है? ग्राम जी क्या है? ग्राम जी पता नहीं क्या।
First of all, the most obvious one. Gandhi asked the audience a rhetorical question. If we give him the benefit of the doubt, then he's just critiquing the government's love for acronyms, and that too a Hindi one, to rename the law. However, does the joke or the sarcasm land? Perhaps not. Because if I check on social media, the ruling narrative is that Gandhi mocked Lord Ram, or that Gandhi didn't even know the name of the law he was opposing.
और अब ये इसका नए लॉ का नाम क्या है? मैं नाम ही नहीं जानता। इसका क्या है? ग्राम जी क्या है? ग्राम जी पता नहीं क्या।
Then comes problem number 2. MNREGA was the UPA government's flagship scheme. This is what Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh brought in during UPA 1 after major consultations with stakeholders from civil society and social sector. Now, if that entire act is being changed beyond recognition, or even if they are claiming it as their own by giving it the Viksit Bharat branding, politically, the Congress could have made much more noise. As one congressperson told me, that they are yet to see a Congress leader of note stand at a MNREGA work site and protest. They are yet to see anything, any kind of protest outside Lutyens, Delhi. If the Congress promised a 45-day Save MNREGA agitation, and if this is what it looks like, then I'm not sure they're really getting through to their voters. And finally, the Congress says they had workers from across the party participate in the Thursday agitation, and yes, some of their speeches were highlighted on the party's social media handles. However, the enduring image from the event was this. Leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi and party president Mallikarjun Kharge dressed up as workers with pickaxes. It looked literally like they were very far from the actual workers and their ground reality. Never to miss an opportunity to score a political point, the BJP has rushed in. Rural Development Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has termed it natak or drama, pointing out that the LOP wasn't even in the country when it was being debated and passed. But if we discount what the Congress says, even other opposition allies are making the Congress look bad. Remember the night that it was passed? The Trinamool Congress spent the entire night doing a sleep protest on the stairs of Parliament against the passage of the bill. They asked why the father of the nation's name was removed from the bill. Punjab government and now Tamil Nadu's MK Stalin government has just passed a unanimous resolution against VBG Ramji that demands that the law continue to be associated with Mahatma Gandhi's name as it used to be when it was called MNREGA. Among other things, they also demanded there should be no cut in its funding and financial burden shouldn't be passed on to states. To be fair, Telangana's Congress government has also passed a resolution against the Ramji, calling it anti-poor. But politically, there's not been any groundswell of protest or movement. Politically speaking, if the Congress party can't evoke outrage among its supporters on this, their own scheme, what hope do they have in rousing voters on other issues?
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.